Hey guys, Mike Moo here. Today I'm going to talk about the Engwe EP2 Pro, which Engwe has graciously sent to me for a video review. Now, I have had the bike for a couple of months now, and I guess the review is a little bit long overdue, but I really wanted to put it through the paces. So the EP2 Pro is what I consider to be an entry-level fat folding bike. Fat tire bike. And by that, you just look at the pictures over here, the original pictures here on the website itself. It sells for $1,099, but there are sales going on regularly that brings it down to below $1,000. So when you put that in mind, just keep that in mind as I talk about the bike itself. Now, I have ridden it for, I want to say, over 100 miles between myself and my wife primarily, and it's pretty good for the money. Okay, now there are definitely some things that I would like to improve on it, but because if you pay the extra amount of money to improve it, you're into a different class bike altogether. So we're just going to talk about what you get for the money and then talk about potential other upgrades or why you might want to spend a little bit more. You definitely don't want to spend less in this category, and that is basically a fat tire folding bike. All right, let's talk about the headline features here. 960 watts of peak power, 48 volts of 13 amp hour battery. What does that mean exactly? Well, 960 watt peak power, that's what you get when you need that burst of speed and power to get going. And that is primarily what I see, where I see this in is at the topper end, higher end of the speed. This is a pedal assist bike. Of course, in this price range, you definitely don't get a torque sensor. With a pedal assist, all you got to do is rotate the pedals to get it going. Okay, and then there's 5 levels of support, 5 levels of assist that you get that you can use the controller to adjust. And herein lies the problem for people who are not used to riding e-bikes, is that something with a torque sensor is going to feel a lot more natural, whereas this is going to feel more like an assisted motor bike per se, versus like an extension of your riding. So it'll take a little bit of getting used to, and so for that reason, especially for beginning e-bike riders, I would say definitely practice on the bike, not in traffic, but maybe in an empty parking lot first, because this is powerful. 960 watt peak power is powerful. It's basically a 750 watt motor in the back, I believe between 500 and 750 watt motor nominal, which is the maximum amount that you can legally have on most of the U.S. roads here in the United States. Now, if you're in Europe, of course, it's got the speed limiter in there where you can get a maximum of 15.5 miles per hour. That's not the case for the bike that I received. So this is a powerful e-bike, right? We'll just put it that way, especially for the price. Now, it's got 20-inch wheels, which is good because it helps keep the bike a little bit smaller than if they were giant wheels. And they're 20 inches and 4 inches wide. So this is something that you can take off, go a little bit off-road, light trail riding. It's going to be very comfortable. And I'll have to say that it is very comfortable set up already straight from the box and after assembly. The seat's exceptionally comfortable. I definitely consider it to be one of the most comfortable seats that comes with a bike already. There's a 3-step alloy foldable frame, and I gotta say that, yes, it is only 3 steps, but it also doesn't get super small. Okay, it's small enough for you to fit in your SUV or in the back of your bigger trunk car, maybe not in a subcompact unless you have a hatchback. But the 3 steps is kind of nice. I have to say that it's a bit awkward in folding it, and you're definitely going to need a little bit of strength or assistance, and also some care in case you don't want to scratch up your bike. And I'll just show you in a little bit video on how that works out as well. So suffice to say that this is not something to be made to be super portable, but it's made so that you can take it with you in your vehicle. All right, it's not something I'm going to be wheeling around on a train, for instance. I'd rather keep it fully unfolded and just roll it into a car that is meant for bicycles, for instance. Now, the 48 volt, 13 amp hour lithium removable battery, a lot of times with e-bikes, this makes up a big part of the cost of the bike. 13 amp hours, I would say, is roughly the standard for this price range. It's acceptable. Now, I see somewhere in the informational graphics here saying that you can go up to 75 miles per charge. And I want to say that that is with you helping with the pedaling. It's definitely not going to go 75 miles on its own at 25 miles per hour, for instance. Yeah, we're probably looking closer to maybe 20 miles, maybe, or about a third of this if you were going strictly with the throttle only. And you can operate this as a throttle only, which makes it up to a class 2 e-bike. But because it can go above 20 miles per hour and assist you at the same time while you're riding, this is considered a class 3. So with that in mind, for class 3, at this price range, and like I said, it's often on sale, okay, down to like $900 sometimes, then this makes it a really good value. Okay, other things they talk about are their Tektro mechanical disc brakes. Honestly, I felt like the brakes could use some assistance. It's enough to stop the bike, but a definitely bigger upgrade and noticeable upgrade for this bike would be a bike with hydraulic brakes, but that puts it in a different price class and category altogether. It's got cruise control. That is nice to have because this feels like a really good cruiser bike. It's fairly laid back, and with the cruise control, it just means that you can just set it at a speed, hold it there, and it will just go on its own. So you can ride it kind of like a motorbike at that setting. It's got 7 speeds. This is where I feel like it kind of lacks, and it could have some sort of improvement here. Now, as you noticed, it says that the max speed is roughly 26 miles per hour. And I think a lot of that is limited by the gear range that this has. And what happens at the higher end of the speed, it feels like you're ghost pedaling in a sense that you are pedaling really fast, but you're not really helping the bike move along, which kind of limits the top end of the speed. So I feel like this definitely has the capability and ability with the power to go above and beyond that and assist you in terms of the speed. But because it only has 7 speeds and the chain ring is not so big that it limits the top end of the speed. Now, on the lower end of this, I had tried to put in, let's see if the specifications say roughly what the maximum amount of weight limit is on here. It doesn't say. Okay. Typically, bikes like this have like a 300-pound weight limit. It actually doesn't say here. 300, sometimes 440. I put down with my bike, with my wife sitting in the back. Let's see, weight of the bike is 74 pounds. So it is definitely not a lightweight bike, which is expected for a fat bike of this class range. But I will say that the low end torque could use some help. If you are a really heavy person and you're expecting this to take you up one of the really steep hills over here in San Francisco, it's really going to struggle or it's not going to make it up there for you. Now, if you don't live like in the area that I'm in right now in Sunnyvale, it's perfectly fine. We don't really have any steep hills for most of the places that we go to. But I did try one with myself and my wife on the back, and to go from 0 up the hill, it just gave out. It just couldn't do it. And that is really typical of most e-bikes, though. So I would just say that it's definitely not geared for carrying a lot of poundage up the hill, or a lot of weight. Okay, so it comes with a Well, I'll go over a little bit more of the unboxings, but just keep that in mind. These are some of the things that keep the price a little bit cheaper. And one of the major things that also help keep it cheaper is the quality of the components, of course. So like I said, the brakes feel a little bit cheaper, of course. The Shimano shifting mechanism feels a little bit cheaper. I feel like it's just sufficient. It's okay. It gets you there. The amount of torque, it's 50 Newton meters. It's enough for most people. One thing I do want to say is that the headlights and the taillights are excellent. They're great. I don't think you really need to improve too much on these, especially the taillight. It's definitely above and beyond some bikes that are, twice the price range. So here you go. You could see that they claim it's 24 miles at full power. I'm going to agree with that as well. And overall, I feel like it's a really comfortable e-bike. It's really great value for the price. It's a great beginner e-bike as long as you get used to the pedal assist modes that it has and are willing to adjust the pedal assist modes anywhere from 1 to 5 depending on the situation. 1 in low speed environments, of course, and then I like to set it up to level 4 or 5 when crossing intersections where I am on the main road, where I'm legally on the main street, either making a left turn or just to make sure that I don't get in, I don't get in anybody's way and affect the way the traffic flows. So that's where the speed is really helpful in a case like that. Now, the other area where you save some money is that when you get the bike, there is some assembly required. Okay, so low capacity, 330 pounds. I definitely tested that. And the rider height, 5'2", I agree. If you are on a bit of the taller side, 6.8 feet, I'd say this probably isn't the greatest bike for you, but when you're that tall, you kind of get the feeling that one size fits all really doesn't work out very well either for you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. My wife is less than 5 foot tall, so she had a little bit of a trouble with this, but she was able to ride it around town and enjoy it. She'd prefer riding this compared to an unpowered e-bike. So, we've taken it around town and did the tests there. So again, with the cheaper price of the bike, you're going to have to do a little bit more assembly. And as you'll see later in the video, it roughly takes from the box arriving to getting it all, assembled and ready to ride with some charging, took me about an hour. Now, I'm not an expert bike mechanic, and I was recording the whole process at the same time. And of course, I did some mistakes because, let's face it, I wasn't really looking at step by step at the manual. I was just kind of intuitively putting things together. So it took about an hour. My suggestion is if you can find a local bike shop to help you put this together, I think your experience is going to be better overall, particularly since even after I have this all set up, I still need to adjust the mechanical disc brakes because they make some squeaking sounds. And also, during the shipment, even though the bike had a protective cage around the rear Shimano shifters, it still got pushed in and thus affected my shifting capability. But I really didn't need to adjust those too much after I realized that was the case and removed the bent portion of the protective section of the Shimano rear shifters. Okay, with that said, here's the rest of the unboxing and show you some footage of riding it around town. It's the EP2 Pro. I like EP2 Pro. stem. That tire is pretty lightweight, actually. Some seat. This little handle here. Oh, this is a lot beefier than I thought it would be. Got a rack. Also pretty beefy. Pedals. And that's it. The rest of this is packaging. Yeah. Whew. Just want to point out that this is definitely not a portable, like, folding bike. This is a Brompton e-wheel, and this is the regular wheel on this guy, the EP2 Pro. This is not going to do any off-road whatsoever, really. Maybe some light trail. This will definitely handle the trails way better. Fat tire. Super duper wide. This is definitely much bigger than I thought it would be. The pictures definitely don't do it justice. Make no doubt about it. This thing is heavy. It's not a lightweight fat bike, as if there was such a thing. So we got the wheel that needs to be stuck on here, which I might end up doing first. Okay. almost missed charger. It feels like it's one of those really simple basic chargers, and that's kind of what you expect on a bike of this class. All the battery management systems are already onto the bike itself, and this is just a simple DC barrel plug, which really makes it easy to do any modifications when you get a simple bike like this, such as maybe extended range and things like that. You see you have all the cables down here a little bit exposed, so you can go in and see what those are and make some changes to it. This is the charger. It actually has a fan, surprisingly, which is good, but it's probably going to be a little bit loud, and it does 54.6 volts at 2 amps. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the charging system. Now I'm going to plug this in first because I want to try to get riding on this shortly after putting it together. So just going to unplug these things and get this in here. Again, this is I believe a 48 volt system, but the charger is 50, or is it a 52 volt? Yeah, 52 volt system, and the output is 54.6 volts at 2 amps. So we're doing about 100 some watts of charging at a time. This is a little bit shorter than I'd like, to be honest. But you know, these are generic enough that you can go online and order your own set. And this is also not detachable. So again, this whole thing is okay. I want to say it's about 5 foot long, maybe total. But yeah, I'm going to use a third-party charger for this in the future. For now, I'm just going to plug this in and get it going. Get it charging anyway, while I do some other things. Not that bad. All right, if you can hear the charger right there, it's actually not too bad sounding. So it's not going to be as annoying as I'm glad. I'm actually happy about that. All right, I'm just going to remove these pieces here. And my understanding is there is probably an online guide in assembling your bike. And this bike definitely does require some assembly. Most of the hard parts are done already. There's the keys. And here's the screen, protected. Yes, please.
The crab is really good. If you eat the big chunk, it's really good. If you want to.
Maybe later. And you get another room. And why I didn't just buy two. Guess I could just put it on like this, sideways. Might be a little bit easier. Okay, that wasn't too bad. The side is in. Now the other side. Get the other side here. Just hand tightening it now. Okay. All right, I lied. I can definitely hear the fan going, but that's because it's definitely ramping up and eating more electricity right off the bat, which makes sense. I'm gonna just put the kickstand down. Whew, the bike is definitely a hefty bike. But here's the fan noise once it's all ramped up. That's it. It's not too crazy. I guess not too bad. Sounds about right. I just hope that it stays relatively quiet like this. We have instructions in German on one side and English on the other side. It says connect charger directly to a power source. Never use extension cords. That's going to be tough because they gave us such a short set. But pretty much you just want a good 12 gauge. Should be okay. Yep. Explosive gases prevent flames and sparks. Yada yada. Disconnect the supply before making or breaking connections to the battery. Yeah, that's going to take a little bit more extra work. All right. Next thing I'm going to do, I'll put the seat on just because it's kind of hanging here. I'm just going to put the seat on. Okay. Let me get another light here. All right. Just going to put the seat on here. Feels like a very cushy seat. I definitely appreciate that. And in case you are wondering, this is 33.9 degrees at 500. It's a 33.9 millimeter. That's definitely hefty. Pretty standard. Lock this up. All right. Let's just see for my height. Yeah, I think it'll do. All right, next, I will put stem on. think it's like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like that. Just straight down. Oh, this is how you lock it. It's a turn lock. Okay. Well, that's interesting to know. Did not know that. Alright, gotta get my bike tools. User guide and putting it together. And you're supposed to read this. Again, the model I have here is the EP2 Pro. Not the Engine Pro, the EP2 Pro. Well, they claimed that I should install the handlebar first. Yeah. I'll get the toolkit that is included in this little pouch. And they do give you the full set that you need. So if you don't have any tools, they should include everything in here, which is great. They're not the best tools in the world. These are kind of like throwaway tools, but you know, they do include it all, so it's going to be enough. I wonder how much Bike Mechanic would charge to put this all together. I wonder. All right, that's installed. All right, that's installed. Let's line this up and get this installed. Let's see if this is correct now. Straighten this up. Straighten this up. This is actually a really high riding height. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, well that part's done. That's the light. That's the light. So this has a built-in reflector and light on one. I like that. That's one way to make it cheaper and have a simpler installation. I put this on backwards.
You did?
So stupid.
That is backwards.
Yes, thank you. And the bloopers. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a professional bike builder. It just needs to be twisted around, that's all. It's a simple one screw position job. Alright, let's turn this around. Turn this around. Just like this way. That makes a lot more sense. There, that was easy enough.
Oh, there's so much light.
Oh yes. I am trying to shoot a video here. I'm gonna edit out the wife.
Eh? Where am I?
You're in the video. Yeah, where am I?
I think we can still have a baby. Always talking. Oh, okay.
It's do 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 do. That's the sound it makes. Do 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 do. I don't know why, but that's what it thinks. Are you serious? They want me to stick this up there? Oh no, this is supposed to go on a rack. That's right. The rack needs to be installed. This derailleur has to be put on properly. It's time to put the rack on. Time to put the rack on. This is a hefty rack, that's for sure. Hefty, hefty, hefty. No doubt about it. Ooh, that's tight. Wow, that there is tight. Okay, I'm gonna need a different tool for that. Oh, wow, that is definitely a little bit harder to put in than I thought it would be. Okay, so this guy needs to snake up here somehow. Like that. I guess that goes in there. Okay, side. There's 4 mounts here. These are the same size. Yes. Good enough. A ton of zip ties here. This needs some adjustment. Yeah, this needs some adjustment. Whew. Definitely got the power, but it needs some adjustment. Shocks are really soft. Maximum speed is 21, 22, 23, 24, maybe 25, I'm not sure. Level 5, I am definitely pushing too fast. This cannot. Okay, it is definitely doing 25 or more miles per hour, and I cannot keep up. The gearing needs to be adjusted. Yeah, the gearing definitely needs to be adjusted. I need to go back and adjust the gears. I'm already going way too fast for the pedaling that I'm doing. It gets up to speed just fine. 750 watts of power, 1,000 watt peak. It's there. Whew. Brakes are only okay. Sorry. Let's get up there.
This is 23 miles per hour.
Well, that's it for this video about the Engwe EP2 Pro. If you found this video helpful in making a decision on whether or not this bike is for you, please give this a like and share the video. Subscribe for more, and if you have any questions about the bike, feel free to reach out to me down below in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer whatever I can about it. Thanks for watching.